So, a bit like everything on this car, that was a pain. Hello, welcome to HCR Garage. I am Henry. Now, we got this car running and driving last episode, and that is fantastic. If you've not watched that, go and watch it. It's a good episode. It took a long time to film, but we got there in the end. Now, we're going to slow things down a little bit this episode. We've been flat out on this car for the last year now, restoring it, welding it, engine swapping it with that Jaguar V6, doing all sorts. Let's just slow it down. I need to clean it. I want to try and polish it up, make the paintwork look nice. I might try and do some bits and bobs to the interior. I need to wrap the wiring loom. Yeah, just loads of little jobs that just all need doing. And I feel like I need it. I think it needs just to slow the pace down and just kind of enjoy it, clean it, caress it. So yeah, I need to get the car out to the front to give myself room to kind of walk around it and stuff. I'm going to clean it. I'll bring it back in there and we can start kind of doing whatever I need to do to it, really. I've not really got a plan. I think that's the best plan. So, yeah, sit back, relax, and chill out with me, really, whilst I just kind of tinker with this MGB. Even though I did take the oil drip tray with me, have half that journey. Well, as you've just seen, that looks all right. It's cleaned up okay. Obviously, the panels that I've not polished are still matte, or that haven't had a fresh respray. So I resprayed the rear quarters and the bonnet after I'd finished the whole respray, because when I was sanding, I sanded through and it was a whole saga. Go back and watch the episode. So now I need to start kind of sanding this and getting it all kind of looking good and stuff. Now I'll show you what I've started to do already. So you can see that panel there is the rear wing. Now I had drips on here, so I've got like a special tool which is hanging up in a little bag here, and I was trying to use a like a Stanley blade to do this before, but I found this online, and you know what, it's really good. Merca. I don't know what it's called, but it works really well, especially that curved edge there with these, which aren't 100% straight, just to kind of go in and just kind of really lightly just start getting rid of all those high spots. So I need to go around the whole car, look at any drips, any high spots, and try and kind of get them off with this. That's the first port of call. Now, as I say, I've done most of that rear quarter. I'll finish that off with a kind of wet and dry pad. The sills I've got drips on, the other rear quarter's got drips on, etc. I think it's just, I've never sprayed a car before. I'm going to end up with some drips. I think even the professionals end up with some drips sometimes. It's just one of those things. So let's try and get rid of them. And then we can start kind of wet and drying. This isn't going to be a quick process. It's going to take a long, long time. But we might as well get cracking with it. So bear with me. I am going to start off with this, and then I'll get back to you once I've got rid of all the drips, and then we can start the next process. So I've just been on the phone to Emerald, who supply the ECU, and Dave, fantastic guy, just said, "Oh, hook me up. I'll go on Teams View and I'll program it." So he's just put in like a really basic kind of idling map, got my idle air control valve working, all that type of stuff, and it runs great. Fantastic. A few little leaks, so the thermostat housing is leaking when it got up to temperature, but my fans did kick in. Yeah, it worked really well. So I'm quite excited. It's all ticking and smoking, and it was very exciting. So I'm sorry I couldn't film it, but it was all kind of happened very, very kind of quickly. But I should be able to start it and show you in a minute. I just need to calm back down again. I'll show you the engine bay. So he had me adjust the throttle stops a little bit. He then got this idle air control valve working, which is great. The fans worked, the cooling pump worked, the fuel system was supplying the right amount of fuel. No major oil leaks or anything, just so you can see where it just weeping out of that thermostat housing. The coolant glugged around once the thermostat opened, so that worked. The exhaust wrap is smoking, and to the point where I was trying to find whether the car was on fire because it was pouring out of here. But it's not on fire, it's okay. It's just that exhaust heat shield stuff that I put on wrap smoking away. Whew. That was nerve-wracking. Although I was confident that he was in control of it, but he obviously didn't know that it was like the first proper startup and stuff. Well, maybe he did, but I was running around checking leaks and filling the coolant up and checking oil level and probably panicking for no reason. So yeah, let me kind of chill out again, and then we'll get back to polishing it, but I will start it up again so you can hear it. Sounds lovely now. Still not quite right, but it's definitely running better. So I think another phone call at some point will fix it completely. But it's a good start, isn't it? Really good start. Right, this is the last thing I'm going to do today. I'm going to try and balance the throttle bodies just to see if it starts to run better once they're all balanced. Hopefully they won't be too far apart, but yeah, I want to try and balance them up. They're all four. Good. They're all five, so I'll make them all five as well. What I've done is I've made them all four, they're all five. I adjusted the throttle stop on this, so I'll adjust the throttle stop on this as well. I forgot to turn the camera back on. Never mind. The left and the right ITBs are now synced up. They're both running about 5 on that gauge on every single one. I adjusted the throttle on the right bank, throttle stop, to help with idle during the mapping process before. So I've just kind of made it the same on the other side, essentially. But obviously that's going to affect the map. We're going to have to go back into it and whatever. But not today. That's the last thing I'm going to do today. So I will see you bright and early morning soon. Good morning. I said at the start of this episode it was going to be a more relaxed one today, and that we were just going to try and get some stuff done, and that was it. Or this episode, rather. Since being on the phone to Emerald, I now have the car booked in for a rolling road in a week and a half's time. So there's quite a lot to do now before I can do that rolling road, because I know there's some issues. I don't want to go and waste however much money it is and time and whatever going down to that rolling road, which is about 4 hours away from me, if the car's going to get there and not be right anyway. So I need to check loads of things over now, as well as doing some other bits and bobs. So I'm going to start off with fitting a new fuel pump. And here is said fuel pump. So it's going to replace the MGB original fuel pump. So I've got some adapters and stuff I've bought to go from the hard line at the back of the MG into the pump, and then AN6 fittings like everything else I've got. I'm just going to remember to put some PTFE tape on it this time. So yeah, I'm going to install this. Now, it's only got one wire coming out of it, so it only needs a live. The ground is the casing itself, and this should just be a quieter, better pump just to fill that swirl pot from the MGB's tank. I'm going to install that in the same place the original fuel pump goes, and yeah, I'm not going to film it. It's too dark underneath this carport, and there's not enough space to get the camera in and stuff. So I'm going to try and fit this somehow, as I say, where the original fuel pump goes, and then we'll start the car back up again and see if it's a better flow into the swirl pot and stuff. So I'm going to go for that. So that's the pump there, kind of semi-installed, because that's where the pipes wanted to fit to. I'm going to make a bracket that comes from the edge of the wheel arch here to the back of the pump there. I'm going to try and raise it up a little bit as well, but I think that should be okay. It's no lower than the battery tray, and the leaf spring still has room to move up and down. I've not tightened it all up yet, but I think that should be good. I just need to make a bracket that comes down from here and allows it to bolt in and have it secured there somewhere like that. So I'm going to try and do that now. It's been a little while actually since I spoke to you all. I've done a few things. So let me show you. There is the fuel pump installed with a bracket. I will paint that bracket at some point. It's all wired in. Got my connections there for the hard line going into the in, and there at the top going to my swirl pot. So I need to test it. So I've bought a new fuel can with 20 litres of fuel that I can pop into the MG tank. I needed a new jerry can anyway. Looks like my microphone has died on me, so you will have to put up with a little bit of bad audio until I get a new one. I'm going to fill this up. Let's check for leaks. Then yeah, that side's done, and I can move on to something else, which I haven't decided yet, but I'll figure it out. So I've got an old piece of rubber tubing because I realised I couldn't really put it in. So I've got my little funnel there. So I'm going to, as I say, fill it up, check for leaks, then we can get on with some other stuff. I'm not sure what yet. This weighs a ton. How am I going to keep that from? There we go. Anything so far? Turn the fuel pump on and just see what happens. Yeah, we seem to be all dry, which is good. Pour the rest of this in then. I think my next job is to do the wiring loom. Then cover it all, put the loom tape on it, put the surrounds on it and things. I think that's going to be my next job. Incredibly windy today. Not the best time to leave your microphone, I'm going to be honest. So now I can rule out the fact that it's not got any fuel at all, which is what I wanted to do essentially. Okay, right, I'll run it again, just double check for the leaks, and then we'll start on something else. The first thing I've done is just put some heat shield around that coolant pipe, because it literally comes in contact with the exhaust. Now I'm going to do this wiring loom. So I'll show you some stuff I've got. So this is like Teflon tape. So this essentially replaces all the cable ties I've got. So, and I can use this to kind of branch the loom, so I can get a few wires to come off in another direction, or the main loom goes that way. I use that tape to do that. And I've got some different sizes of this stuff. So this is like loom wrap. It spreads apart, and you put the loom inside, and then use loom tape on either side. So I've got smaller stuff for like in the engine bay, for the injectors and stuff, and then the bigger stuff like the main loom behind the engine. So I'm going to set you up on a time lapse, and I'll start just seeing how much I can get of this done of this kind of loom wrapping. So you can see I'm starting to kind of get there. It's so tricky when the wires are in to get any kind of purchase on like your tape and stuff. So I've started to branch bits out and stuff, but yeah, it's so tricky, and my back is killing me now. Leaning over the car for a long period of time, it just gets my back. I think I've been doing this for too long now. Underneath cars, getting back up again, all that time, so my back is just in pieces. But we carry on. I'm going to just crack on with trying to get as much of this loom kind of done. I'll give you updates in a bit of where it's kind of up to and what it looks like. Oh, right, I've had enough for today. Let me just show you what I've done so far. I've done all of the passenger side of the engine. So all this cooling and the loom is done, tucked up there. That's all done up to those connectors there. The coils are done, and the VVT on this side's done. That's a really good start. Yeah, it's just a really kind of long process, really fiddly, trying to get the tape done, and it folds on itself, and you have to cut it off and start again, and it's a pain. But it is what it is. I'm going to finish up tomorrow, and then we can start some other bits and bobs, can't we? Right, good morning. I'm just going to carry on with this wiring loom. See if I can get the whole engine bay kind of loomed up? Wrapped up? I don't know. Let's get it all finished anyway, and then we can move on to some other more exciting things. So, as you could see, I have finished the wiring-ish. I might do some modifications to it in the future, but for now, I'm happy. I'm just trying to get things ready to go to this rolling road in a couple of weeks' time, because I've not got any time to work on the car next week for various reasons. So I just want to get stuff ready to go there. That's my main priority. So that wiring's done now. I think the car needs some windows, because if I'm going to tow it all the way down south, I don't want the rain to be getting in and all that type of stuff. So I want to make it as watertight as possible. So I think that's going to be my aim for the next kind of part of this episode. Maybe headlights, maybe indicators, rear lights, the lock on the back, the door handles, that type of stuff. Not everything, but just enough so it stays leak tight on the way down there, and I'm not worried about the boot flying up or the bonnet flying up, or you know what I'm saying. So to do that, I need to restore my windows and window frames because they were a mess when I took them off the car. So I've got a few things to help me do that. So I've taken this old seal off here, and I'd ordered some new ones a long time ago, which I've found. So they need to go on there, like so. But I need to clean all this up with some wire wool, which I have a massive bag of in here. I've not got this seal, so I need to see if I can repair that somehow, or order a new one. Clean all this up. I've got some new clips to put it on. I need to do that for both windows. I'll be good to go. I've also got some new finishes for the top of the rear quarters. So yeah, it's just going to be a case of kind of cleaning up and yeah, even the glass, and maybe see if I can get rid of some of this pitting and stuff. So I'm going to be doing that. So there you go, we've got new seals on. Look good. I've put some new seals on that bit as well, which should compress. That one was already stuck down, so I've just put a new seal on the bottom bit. Yeah, let's install them. There's no reason why I can't just pop them in my car now, is there? So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think that looks quite good. Put the door seal back in as well. We'll attach this. It's meant to be riveted. I've used self-tappers just because it was easier. I'd had no rivets. Might change them one day, but it's nice and tight. And the door is fitting nicely on the rubbers. Happy days. So I'm going to get on with the other side. And then when it comes to put the glass in, I will let you watch. But on the other side, it's dark, it's not much room, and it's going to be a pain in the arse. But never mind. Well, what a massive difference putting the windows in have made. Struggled for a bit, I forgot where each bolt went, but we figured it out. I'm actually a little bit kind of, I don't know, seeing it with the windows in makes it seem like a car, so I've just taken a minute just to kind of step back and look at it a little bit. Yeah, I've not had time to reflect really yet. In this episode, when I'm bolting things back together, I'm finishing things off. You can reflect a little bit and definitely starting to take shape again. For a finishing touch today, I put that grille back on. So windows, wiring loom. Oh, we've done a lot. Yeah, we've done a lot today. Still have to put the headlights and everything in. I wanted to do that today, but I've just looked at all my old bits and I don't know what I was thinking when I took it apart. Put them all in bags. but then I'm missing some bags and stuff, so I must be missing a box full of bits. But I don't know where it is, so I'm going to think about that another day. Yeah, I'm going to call it quits for today, so I will see you at some point in a morning in the future. Now, I've been in the garage for a few hours this afternoon. Wasn't worth filming it. I was just getting done some of the little jobs that I know need doing. So I'll show you kind of what I've done in the last few hours. I have put an oil line from that adapter all the way inside the car. This line here, this new copper line, it isn't the best, to be honest. It's quite yeah, bad quality, I think. But anyway, it goes in the car and it does hook up to the original MG gauge, so that's good. I've also put on the windscreen wipers and the washer, and the washer bottle, which I've put there. I've put like a little cable clip thing down there and just cable tied it on, and it works and it's all good. I've also started disassembling this to try and see if I can see a solution with this intake, because I really don't know yet. That's just some little jobs. Oh, one more. I've made this heater valve work here. It's just one of the, it's just a crimp connector on there with two cable locks either side of it, coming into the original MG heater thing. And unfortunately, because of the way it's positioned, off is hot. And hot is off. But never mind. Yeah, that's just one of those things, isn't it? I couldn't do it any other way, unfortunately. Yeah, but it works, so that's good. So yeah, just slowly just knocking things off the list of things to do, or things left to do, which is good, really, really good. So I'm going to carry on another day, but I just thought I'd give you a little update of what I've been getting on with this afternoon. I'm currently just spending a few hours each day just sorting some bits and bobs out, and I'm not filming it because I'm just trying to get it done. And I'm sorry if that disappoints people, but it is what it is. Let me show you what I've done in the couple of hours I've been in the garage today. I've put these strips on. They are riveted in place. I've ordered new seals for the window, so I will put some more of those in. I've put the badge back on, the boot works, and I put this badge back on. And I've also done the other window trim there. Just trying to just slowly tick things off, just whilst I'm waiting for the parts to arrive. I might as well kind of crack on with the bits that I can do, and just finishing bits off. And you might have noticed that badge for the the BGT bit on the passenger side boot isn't perfect. It's the original. And I'm a massive believer in, this car is 50 years old. Why do I want to make it look like it rolled out the factory yesterday? I don't. It's got history. I've fixed the rust. I've made it solid. I've put a stupid engine in it. I don't want it to lose that history though. So I'm a big believer in restoring a car sympathetically, keeping some of that age. I'm not going to replace all the window chromes. They're pitted, yes, but they look nice, I think. It kind of adds to the age of the car. Now, if something's broken, I will replace it. But if it's not broken, then why? I have painted this car in my garage. The paint work is not perfect. It looks good, but it's not perfect. So why am I going to try and make the rest of the car perfect? It just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm going to make it look nice, and it'll add to that kind of sleeper vibe of the MGB that I've kind of created. So that's where I'm up to. I will do a proper full day in the garage soon. It's summer in the UK. We've got so many plans. We are busy. I'm just trying to keep going on it and not let it kind of sit there now that it's running and now that it's an exciting phase of the build. I need to keep on progressing it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just progressing little bits and pops. So bear with me and I'll do a full day in the garage soon. Good morning. I'm back in the garage for a full day, finally. I have been busy getting on with stuff because I've been able to come out in the garage for like an hour here, an hour there. You'll have seen some of the footage, but not all of it. Just trying to get some of the little bits and bobs done, basically. Stuff that's not that interesting to watch, but just needs to be done. So I'll go through each one of those that I've done, and then we'll get into the exciting bit of trying to get this intake to fit. Indicators on. Wipers installed. Wing mirrors installed. Rear quarter covers riveted on. New seals. Badges, boot latch, and a number plate, as well as reversing lights, and one rear light, because I set fire to the other one. So yeah, plenty of stuff I've been kind of getting on with, but not that interesting. I ordered a new rear light, it turned up, that one was broken as well, so that's great. So I've ordered another new one, so that'll be my 4th rear light, but never mind. So let's talk intake. Now, I'm sure that's what a lot of people are bothered about with this episode, mostly because I don't want to modify this bonnet. I want this car to be a sleeper. I want it to look like an MGB. And if you look closely, you'll be able to see the exhaust running through the wheel arches and the frontline brakes through the wire wheels, all that type of stuff. I will be upgrading the wire wheels at some point, but they're staying as they are for now because I've run out of money. Let's look at the intake. So I removed the throttle bodies for now, and I put some copper grease on the tops of these, and when they're like that, they fit just. That one has a really small witness mark there, but I did put that one on quite thick, so there's a couple of mil around there. So that bit of the intake is fine. It's the height of the actual ITBs when they're coming off there, because the bonnet kind of bows down either side, and that makes it not fit. So here's my idea. I have bought these, and they call them pie cuts, and they're exactly the same wedge for each single one. Now, I could have made these, but they wouldn't have been completely the same. These have been cut out on a proper saw and stuff, so each one is perfect. So my idea, that is 90 degrees. It's a 60-degree V. So if I put 120 degrees, it should follow the angle of that. So I'm going to weld on 2 of these to each one of these intakes. And it should end up down here. And then the throttle bodies will be here. I'll have to make a new throttle linkage and stuff, but that's fine. That is the plan. Down and down. Yeah, so it'll be down here, and then that should give it plenty of room to breathe and all sorts and not hit the bonnet. So it's another day of welding today. And it's going to be a bit of a factory, isn't it? It's going to take a while. I'll set you up on a time lapse and we'll get them all done. It's really warm today. I'm now filthy. But the bonnet shuts. It shuts. I've not had to modify it. It looks like an MGB still. Oh, thank God for that. So I've made a new throttle linkage, and I've had to cable tie that down because the bonnet, that's the only bit that the bonnet was hitting, just there. Everything else clears. I've got my trumpets on. They fit. I'm going to put a filter sock over this whole kind of bit either side for like normal road driving and stuff, but how good does that look now? Really, really happy with that. Good morning. It's actually a new day. The MGB is out there. I pulled it out this morning. It runs good. It's definitely kind of learning the map. I think that's what the ECU does. It learns. So it's definitely starting to, I can nearly rev it, which is good. I need to clean it again, which is annoying, but I do. Lots of dust at the moment and stuff. So I want to give it another machine polish to try and bring out that really nice deep green colour, even though the paintwork's not perfect. So I need to give it a jet wash, and then I can start kind of machine polishing again. I've bought some smaller adapters and stuff so I can get into all the little nooks and crannies and things. So that's my plan today. I'll be doing it all day probably. I'll film little bits, but not all of it. And then we'll catch up at the end of the day and see what it looks like. Right then, I've kind of finished doing the machine polishing for now. I've had a bit of enough of it, to be honest, hence why I started the car, started playing. It looks good. It's not perfect yet, but it looks really, really good. Considering I painted this in a garage in the middle of winter, I don't think it looks too bad. So now that I've polished the car, I need to protect it a little bit. So I've got some finishing stuff. I'm not going to put it on with a machine polisher. I'm just going to put it on by hand and kind of basically give it a little wax. It's so hot today, so it's all taking a lot of energy, but we're getting there. So I'm going to put that protecting cover on it, or whatever you want to call it, finishing polish or whatever. And I'll leave it for now, I think. But I think it's starting to look like a car again, which is just fantastic. Wow, that's starting to come up really nice with that stuff. It's this wax compound. Ooh. Who'd have known it'd been painted in a garage? So I've put that stuff on the whole car and it looks fantastic. Like, it's not perfect, there's still some swirl marks, it still needs a deeper polish at some point, but for now it's definitely presentable, and it's a good way to kind of tie up this episode because we've been going for a while on this one. So let me show you the final kind of looks of the car. Well, what do you think then? Doesn't that look good? Take these off, it's not sunny anymore. I'm really happy with that. We made some good progress, and it's just getting closer and closer to being able to kind of take the car out on the road. Good morning, I'm back in the garage. I did end the episode the other day, and then I suddenly thought, you know what, let's get the whole car, on the outside at least, finished. Let's put the bumpers on, and some other bits and bobs. So I'm going to do that today. And then we can show you what it looks like kind of with the outside done, can't we? I bought a new microphone. It's very posh. So hopefully that's going to be a good sound quality for you lot. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up the cars a bit better and stuff. It's a DJI mic mini or something. So quite a big upgrade from my little Amazon ones that I had. So we'll see if that works. We're going to start off with fitting the rear bumper. Now, for those that have been watching for a while, you'll know that I had to cut my old rear bumper mounts off because they were so rusty. So I've got a new bolts there, fitting kit, and I've got some new bumper mounts. So I'm going to fit them now, and then we can get the bumper, which is up there, back installed. Archie. Hello, mate. So yeah, let's crack on with that now. So, a bit like everything on this car, that was a pain. Nothing wanted to fit. Obviously, I've welded so many parts onto this car. The holes for the bumpers were in the wrong place. I had to do some massaging to get them to fit. But I think it looks quite good. I don't know what you think, but I think as soon as you start putting chrome work on some bumpers and things, it just starts to make the car look like a car again, which is great. So I'm going to try and do the front bumper and the headlights, and then that'll be it, I think. So fit those, and then we'll see what the car looks like. telling the truth, I have no idea how these headlight kind of bezels are meant to go on. I've kind of pushed them on and they seem to be in place, but they don't seem very secure. So I need to do some research on how to properly do that. Well, I think it looks really good. Bumper on, number plates installed, headlights on. It gives it a face again, doesn't it? I'm not going to put the grille on for now because I think I'm still chasing an oil leak somewhere from the front, which is easier to access from the grille. It's a fish mouth car, this, so I will show you the grille in the next episode. But yeah, look how nice it looks. Looks like a proper car. Really, really happy with that. Now, I've got some like reproduction kind of number plates on there now. This is my original one, which I think is the original number plate. See how it's got raised kind of letters on it and numbers. If anyone knows, anyone that restores these, you see just like with these clips behind and stuff. I'd really like to put the original one back on. Or something similar to that with these letters that are like kind of pressed on. Because I think that would just finish it off nicely, just make it look original. So yeah, I think that it's starting to look like a proper little classic car again. Paintwork looked good, it's not perfect, but it's good. All the wiring, loom and everything looks good. Again, not perfect, but good. We've made such good progress. We really, really have. Now the bumpers are on and like everything's kind of starting to take shape, which I'm really happy about. So next episode will be the interior, putting that front grille on, a few other bits and bobs. Hopefully get it mapped properly, not on a rolling road because I need to do that a little bit later on down the line, but if we can get someone to hook up to the computer and kind of do a rough map, and we can maybe even take it out the garage, we will see. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. It's doing really, really well, but we need to keep it going. Comment on the video, like always. Let me know what you think. Does the paintwork look good or does it not? I'm not starting again, so don't comment that. And yeah, like the video, and I will see you next time round to carry on making this a lovely little classic car with a touch.